Welcome to our Dream in the Woods. Got a nice rainy day here today, so we knew this was coming in the forecast. So yesterday I was on a mad scramble to get a few things done. It's going to be rainy here for the next week or so. So yesterday I was able to get out there and tarp that slab, thanks to my aunt and uncle up in Paradise Valley. They gave me some straw, so laid one nice big tarp out, put about 6 inches of straw down, put the second tarp down. So I got that done yesterday. The other thing got done was took off the cylinder to the backhoe that the seal was broken. My dad and I worked on that for a period of time. Couldn't get the pin out, so I have a friend, Jared. I was able to call him. He's a heavy equipment mechanic and has a nice truck and a crane and the right tools, and he's able to pop that off. So the cylinder's at the shop getting repaired now, and it should be done maybe this week. And then Jared's gonna go ahead and install that for us. So that was good to get that going. Other thing, I met with the well company, and they are able, I thought it was about a month and a half out, but they're actually going to come out next week. I needed to close in that trench from where the transformer is, close that in so they can get their well rig in that. So that's exciting. I'll have power, gas, and water here in pretty short order. The panel got energized on Tuesday, just a few days ago. So that's ready to run some leads to the well. We'll get that pump in and have electricity for that, and then we're going to run electricity over to the sawmill cover. This is my sister-in-law's Dina's house that we stay in, and as you can see, there is the start of the lumber bunks. The lumber bunks are actually on her property, but that's how close we are to our property and the lumber and our future build site. So I love living out here. See deer every day. She's got a nice porch on the front and the back of the house, so yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, we wanted to catch you up with our progress so far on the barn. Clearing the land, de-stumping everything was a huge project. Then we pulled out all the organic topsoil out of the foundation perimeter. The back corner needed to come up 36 inches, so Eric knew that was a big deal. I did not, but it took a lot of material to build up with the topsoil on the outside of the perimeter, and then start raising the foundation with good compactable rock. After we got up to a certain level, then we put in all of the sonotubes. Those are all 18-inch sonotubes that are down about 36 inches. On the northern half, we put square boxes on that for the posts to sit on. And then we continued to work bringing up the elevation of all of that rock. Day of running that thing isn't that memorable, but so it just took a lot of work in this foundation to get it to the point where you're ready for concrete on the southern half of the barn. I did decide to put 2 inches of foam board down, and that ended up being a good choice. We put a vapor barrier on top of the foam, which that was a contemplation, and then rebarred everything in, put up the forms. All those, it just takes lots of steps, and so much work goes into a foundation that I was not aware of. We had the foundation professionally poured. These are the Pucci brothers, and they did a great job. They actually grew up right here in the neighborhood, and Beth knew them as a kid. So great to work with those guys. It's so satisfying to have concrete poured and it all smoothed out and everything, with all that work that it took to get there. So that kind of catches you up to where we are now. as we have basically the foundation in for this barn, and we're ready to start erecting as soon as all the timbers are ready to go.
The next thing on this video we want to do is talk about our barn plans and where we found them, and that was on the BarnGeek website. So I just want to start out with the BarnGeek website, just as you'd see it. I'm not going to go into all the different tabs, but basically what I'm going to be talking about is if you go under plans and then you go to barn plan store. So once you're into the barn plan store, what's cool is there's all kinds of these different barns that are available. And so I'm not sure exactly how many he has on here, and he continues to add more barns. But the barn that caught Beth and I's attention was the 40 by 50 horse barn. So we'll pop into that one. So then now we're into the 40 by 50 horse barn, and it kind of gives you a sneak peek of different people that have built this barn, and it will give you a 3D modeling of what the outside looks like. So you click into that, and you're able to spin that around and take a look at it. So that's a cool feature. Kind of starts getting excited. And then, oh, there it is. The timber, what the meat of the project here is what are the timbers going to look like. And so able to play around with that and look at how it is constructed. So then once you decide that you want to use one of his plans, he has two different ways to buy the plans. And so I picked this one over here, the $297. And when you do that, you get the full, every barn project you get the full plans for. And so and then with that, you also get some member-only areas. There's also a Facebook group that's member-only, and that's pretty active. In fact, he had a contest on people that were doing their own barns, I believe last spring, and that was fun to watch different projects going up. So that's the next thing I did, was purchase the membership, basically annual membership. After checking out the BarnGeek website, and if you're interested in purchasing a set of plans or subscription, go ahead and hit this QR code. If you take your phone out, open up the camera and point it at that QR code, it'll bring you to a link. By doing so, that helps support our Dream in the Woods and our channel. And if you don't want to use that, there's a link in the description that will bring you to the website for the purchase of those plans. So let's get back to it. Okay, so now I'm logged in as a member or in my subscription on the BarnGeek website. And so the barn that I was targeting was this 40 by 50 horse barn. So he has some hardware in here as far as the steer plates, what kind of screws you need. So then when you pay for this, this is the plans you get. So these are the different files, and so this file here will give you a cut list of what you're going to need. These are the main plans that you get with the purchase of the $300 purchase, and then you can download any of these plans, and so you get some description here of the barn, elevations, kind of the structure itself. This piece here with all of the different timbers, sizes, lengths, the layout of the piers here, and 10 feet between each bent, and we'll get into what the bent looks like, but each plane here that timber, that's the main timber frame, is made up of these bents. What the roof structure looks like: this 6x3 purlins, 24-inch on center. Here we're talking about the bent. So this structure there, the side, 2x12 headers, 2x6 girts, what all the posts are look at. And so I took these plans into, when I did my building permit, to our county office, and they looked through the plans, and I made a few notes on them, and that's what I submitted for my building permit, and it was fine. So, but I wasn't satisfied with the 40 by 50 horse barn. I wanted to make some modifications. So that's when I reached out to Aaron and the BarnGeek crew and ended up getting a custom plan. After reaching out to Aaron and the BarnGeek crew, they are able to do custom plans off their barns. And I'd like to thank them for sponsoring this part of the video. They were very great to work with, and so we were able to come up with some design based off the 40 by 50 horse barn, but just kind of make it specific to my barn that I was looking for. One of the things I was concerned with was snow load. His barns are for 50 pounds per square foot of snow load. I needed 65 for my build region, so came up with a solution there. And if you look at this part of the barn, those 3x6s are up on end instead of being flat, and so that increases the capacity there. The other thing that I wanted in my barn wanted some more ceiling height. So these are 9-foot ceilings here on the 2 bays, and then a 12-foot ceiling here. And with that, I also wanted to have the ability for some living space up above on the upper. And so I was real concerned about this window and where it was placed on the wall and whether you could see out of it and such. So we worked back and forth. And so now the ceiling height up here is 8 foot 9 inches. So plenty of room, and then a good look as far as the window placements go on the upper floor. With that, with all of the changes, the timbers changed. So this here was a 6x6 post in the original one, 6x8, now it's 6x10. This beam here is 6x10, and that's the one the 3 that I've cut are this post right here, 6x10 here. That's beefier post. The rafters are bigger. They're 6x8. I wanted 2-foot overhangs, so he changed that, and he widened the center bay there for me. So that was very helpful. Not a whole lot different on the pier plan here, except that I wanted a door on this side, another door here, and then the original door here, so that we added some piers there that are already in the ground, and some other design features here. But they were great to work with, and he can basically change any of his barn plans around to fit your desire. So that was nice there. I'll kind of do he also sends you a SketchUp 3D model. So this is a typical, what we're calling bent, and so you'll hear me refer to that, but that's just one plane there every 10 feet. So in a 60-foot barn, I'll have 7 bents, and so I'm kind of able to get like a 3D view of that. Also, if you have the SketchUp program open, you'll be able to take measurements, so I'll be able to manipulate that when I need to. So this is what the barn structure will look like. Other thing I did here was we changed the roof pitches. on these two roofs. And so this is a 612 and this is a 512, even though they kind of look the same in this, just looking at it on the computer. So you can kind of see how those windows are framed in. I'm also going to have some windows on the bottom. So then this is what it looks like with the siding on. Of course, mine will be board and bat. I'm going to do metal roof. That kind of gives you a basic design of what the barn's going to look like. He updates the material list, and so I was able to take this and then kind of make my own spreadsheet, and I'll pull that up next. So this is from the cut list that BarnGeek sent me. Then I was able to make my own spreadsheet because I'm more of an Excel guy. Of course, I did my organization over here to the right. It's piece by piece, and I hopefully in future videos I'll be able to say, okay, I'm working on post 2, and then go to SketchUp and say, this is post 2, I believe. Post 2, 6 by 8 by 10 foot. So I think that will make more sense as I continue to cut the lumber for the mill and what I'm using it for, and then be able to visualize where it's going in the barn and then how many I need. So hopefully you're able to kind of visualize what the barn project is going to look like and what the individual pieces are of it. BarnGeek just kind of makes you, through a series of different videos and information and how other people have done it, it kind of makes the do-it-yourselfer have some confidence on being able to build one of these. So we'll build these bents one at a time, have 7 of them raring to go, and then I plan on hiring a crane then to place them in there over each pier. So, and then we'll put the purlins on and some girts and stabilize it and square it and plumb it and just continue on. So if people have some suggestions or have been able to do this, build in this style before, feel free to reach out to us on email or leave us a comment. Appreciate any kind of feedback we can for this. So now it's still raining. Forecast is correct, so we're going to get about 7/10 to an inch of rain today, or in the 24-hour period. So it's coming down good. So I want to thank Aaron and the BarnGeek crew for helping us out on today's video and just being so flexible and working with us on the design and making sure we have a sound structure. So like I said, hopefully next video we're drilling a well and putting up the board and bat siding for the sawmill shed part of that. Appreciate you watching from wherever you're watching from, whether that's here in the United States, Canada, or around the world. Just kind of cool that YouTube is able to reach out to so many different viewers. So have a great day, and we'll catch you with the next video.